Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Eliel. In this incarnation, I am here today to talk about the energies of this next week from today, April 13th, until April 20th. So we continue to have the energy, the manifestation of the energy of the full moon in Libra, but also there is this radical change regarding planets entering in fire signs and the transformative energy of Pluto in Aquarius. So I anticipated a little bit of this in the last videos. I'm going to go in order right now so you can understand. Tomorrow, April 14th, Saturn perfects its conjunction with the North Node in Pisces in the degree 26. So if you have planets close to this mathematical degree, not only Pisces, every mutable sign, Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo, you are going to receive this through attention, and this could be something that is not comfortable. And we are talking about an experience, an important experience of maturity in that area, that allows us to open a new chapter in our life. This could be, as I said, uncomfortable because contacts with the North Node many times are uncomfortable. They take us to new spaces, but very, very positive in the long term. And perhaps we are not acknowledging the dimension that this change, these decisions, these things that we are starting to build could impact in our lives in the next years. So in that area of our lives, in the area Pisces. Okay, on April 16th, Mercury enters again in Aries, and at the time it enters in Aries, makes a conjunction with Neptune there. So this is something that we are experimenting for the first time. This is something very, very new. Mercury is still going through mathematical degrees that already went through in March because of their retrogradation. Ideas that were gestating in Pisces, information that we were receiving through dreams, conversations, whatever is the way that we are receiving information, because it is we have the ability to connect in so many forms. Well, and these potential realities that we can access when we are able to listen to our intuition, this is a moment to take action for all of those things, to develop them. This is a new beginning, or it also could be a phase of the experience in which we could deal a little bit with uncertainty because we are exploring something that is completely new. And we have to add that Mars on April 18th enters again in Leo. This happened from November to December of 2024, and then Mars started its retrogradation. It spent a lot of time in Cancer, and right now, when it enters in Leo, makes a trine with Neptune and Mercury in Aries. So this could light the will of moving forward, of approaching these new beginnings that are going to be manifested. And this is about the will of creating and sharing that creations with other people, sharing the light, our talents, whatever thing is inspiring us to share. But at the same time, Mars is creating an opposition with Pluto in Aquarius. This is going to be perfected the next week, but we are going to feel this with a lot of strength from this week. This is active from now, even if Mars is still in Cancer. So the other day I was mentioning this. Oppositions, it is a very, very tense aspect, the one of Mars and Pluto. And oppositions have the tendency to project the conflict in an external situation, in an external person. It is something on the outside that is creating the threat, with quotation marks. And the shadow of the energy of Leo, it is the ego disconnected from the soul, per se. So this could be about battles of power. The power could be traduced in wanting to be right, in establishing manipulations in order to win, with quotation marks, wanting to be the one that is imposing itself, so himself or herself. So there is also the contrary polarity, like tolerating abuse or destructive experiences because we are so attached to something that we are giving the power to. This is going to depend in which areas you have the first degrees of Pluto, of Aquarius and Leo. I'm going to give a simple example so you can understand. this could be about tolerating, for example, bad treatment experiences of, that aren't right at all in a job, for the fear of not being able of generating resources in other ways. This could be traduced in a relationship, etc. This is not the only form, but I'm just giving this as example so you can understand. This transit actually is inviting us to look with honesty our own attitudes that can be unconscious. When our ego is feeling threatened, and for that reason we are setting our healthy boundaries, or we want to impose ourselves in ways that are not assertive. These days, we have a lot of information about narcissism and psychopathy, which is very, very useful. But we have to remember that those distorted behaviors are part of the major, are part of the collective. That's why the world, it is manifesting as it is. And we can all exercise them because of our conditionings, because of the conditionings that we have when we incarnate in this plane. What makes the great difference, the big difference, is the capacity to recognize them, to change them, and to repair. That is the great difference. So when we are draining our energy in a conflict, even if there are experiences that we could feel that they are valid, if we are in front of a person that has no capacity of self-criticism or recognition of their shadows, it is we become the responsibles for sustaining dynamics in places that we are not able to grow. So the energy of Mars and Pluto, we are seeing this in the powers of the world. We are seeing this battle there, but we have to remember that if things aren't serving for the common good, for the collective growth, there is no sense in sustaining those things. And with the collective, I am referring to humanity, not a specific country or nationality, because if we continue in that egoic projection of the external enemy, we aren't practicing awareness. So, let's continue, because this tension is going to be increased by the fact that on April 19th, the sun enters Taurus. And at the time it enters in Taurus, creates a square with Pluto in Aquarius and a square with Mars in Leo. The energy of Taurus is that one of, it is about the organic process. It is the moment where the energy takes form in the matter. It is an earth sign. It is the contact with our body, with our senses. It has the tendency to go in a slow rhythm, but very, very solid. That is earth. What occurs, it is that with these squares, they come to accelerate the rhythms, to bring velocity, speed. They come to generate the urgency of change and transformation and death of aspects that are not fertile anymore of our own identity to continue blossom, to continue to grow in our experience. So fixed signs many times could create a lot of resistance to change. They show us our most fixed parts and the most attached ones. So it has its challenges, but also its opportunities. Every square is that. On April 20th, Uranus in Taurus, this is part of the full moon in Libra, perfects its sextile with the North Node in Pisces. This is a harmonic aspect, and here we continue to open. We are able to connect with opportunities to generate these great changes that represent something very, very evolutionary. They call us to detachment, whether this is material because that is Taurus, or emotional, to move forward in a lighter way, but also to use our resources, inner resources, material resources, in innovative ways, in new ways, so we can move forward. That same day, April 20th, Venus in Pisces, that is already direct, makes its third conjunction with the North Node. The second one happened in April 2nd with Venus retrograde. So this is about what choices we have already discovered that they are very important to do from self-love, and which inner and external values too, we really want to cultivate and sustain in the process, and how we are going to commit with them, because Saturn is very close to this conjunction. In fact, the next week, Venus is going to meet Saturn again direct. That same day, Mercury in Aries creates its third sextile with Pluto in Aquarius. The second one happened in March 25th with Mercury retrograde. So could be that at that moment we discovered that we needed new ideas, new transformative ideas to move projects, perhaps connecting with different groups, different communities, or could be that we are getting clearer, because Mercury, it is the ruler of our mental processes. We are getting clearer of what we need to do to generate a transformation in our experience. This is not something, every time that we talk about Pluto and Aquarius, this is not something that only serves for our own path. We are talking in here we are talking of how from my place, my role, my identity, I can do something for the collective, because every tiny act counts. Family, I'm going to end this video here, and we are going to expand on these transits the next days. Thank you, everyone. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.